Anna, thank you for being with us here. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, and thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Yeah.
So you're going to be in May with us in our Congress in Spain by the video connection. And well, please, could you introduce yourself a bit? Like, what is it about PT that has been compelling and kept you going on all these years?
Well, to me, polarity therapy has been a light in my life. And the title of my talk is The Light Within the Dark. So polarity has been a light for me within dark times of confusion and not understanding, and even in good times. It's been an understanding of principles that have shaped my life and brought me understanding of what's happening. Dr. Stone was such a luminary, a visionary in the 40s, and he said so many things that are still so true. And he drew on ancient wisdom from, many traditions, Taoism and Ayurveda, and cultures all over the world, indigenous cultures. So he was a beautiful eclectic. And I found his work fascinating when I was young, and still today, that certain principles just hold true. And when he says polarity therapy, that's what it is. It's the understanding of polarity, the polarities of expansion, contraction, which are in the body, in the emotions, in the mind, and also everything around us. So to me, it's been a fascinating journey. And I think some of the basic principles are the most profound. They may seem simple, but over the years, they deepen and deepen and deepen. And I've had the privilege to be involved in polarities since I was 28, and now I'm 73. It's been a long journey and very compelling, still interesting. Yes.
Well, thanks a lot, and for nourishing us with all your experience. That is an honor for us. So, The Light Within the Dark is the title. And what are you going to share? The basics of polarity and why they are so important?
Yes. Some of the basic principles and some of Dr. Stone's beautiful, pithy statements that just ring in the mind, almost like a Zen koan for years. So I'll be speaking to some of those, and also speaking to this understanding of polarity, of the movement of polarity, and how when there's fixation, there's dis-ease. And when there's flow, there's health. That's a simple thing, but very rich to understand over the years. So we'll do an exercise to bring us into understanding that through the body and through our own experience. So this whole understanding of how life is really in rhythmic cycles. And when that rhythmic cycling is moving, we could call it pulsation, we could call it, but the rhythms can be very slow, very slow. I'm a biodynamic craniosacral teacher for 25 years, so it fits in there. Everything I've studied fits in the polarity understanding because it's so large, and I think it's so comprehensive. So I want to speak to some of the deep understandings from Dr. Stone and how they've affected my life, and then how it's effective working with people. And his big view, just the inspiration of it. One of my favorites is energy is the real substance behind the appearance of matter and form. Wow, that just turns everything upside down. I'm going to speak to that. We think that this is solid and energy is something, No, energy is the real substance behind the appearance of matter and form. So I'd like to go into that, and I'd like to talk more about fixation and flow, and then more deeply about how we can sit with our experience in fixation, where we see there's fixation, how we can actually sit in those places which might be called the dark. And as we stay with them and bring presence to them, and the energy begins to move, the light arises out of the dark. And I think that within any fixation, as Dr. Stone said, any resistance is actually love. So in the dark is the light, and in the light is the dark. And Dr. Stone was very clear, it's a balance of the two. So that's a bit of what I'm going to talk about.
Wow, fantastic. Thanks a lot. This is great. Yeah, going deep, understanding the principles and even the philosophical aspects, no?
Yes.
This is great, fantastic, great contribution.
How when we touch the body, I mean, this is to me the phenomenal thing of Dr. Stone, which I studied him in 1978, is when I started. And he's talking about when you touch the body, you're touching the emotions, you're touching the mind, you're touching consciousness. And what a way to start on my therapy journey. And it's still good, even though I studied lots of other things. So
fantastic, fantastic. Well, I think this is it. Thanks a lot again.